The future of South Africa's democracy depends on institutions that draw upon the talents of all its people. More importantly, that draw upon the talents of women. So if you are a woman in leadership and you do not have a talent of being accountable, you are not ethical, you are not having integrity, you do not create spaces to be filled in by women, we don't drink from you and we don't regard you as women.
All this room, your presence in your positions is itself an accountability signal. How you lead, what you prioritize, and what you refuse to normalize becomes part of your institution's institutional memory. You must not underestimate the impact that each and every one of you have in your institution.
What do we have in place? Is it working? Because the critical thing is that you can have level 1, level 2, level 3, and you find that all of them are not functioning. They are mostly the tick boxes up until AG come knocking, your external auditor or your representative of your investor come to your doors. Then when you realize that it's actually the Swiss cheese.
So we need to find a way of actually making use of the people that we have and also encouraging them to actually use their expertise for the institution rather than relying on external, because when you are involved in something you exercise your expertise, you become an expert.
To say this problem has come to my desk, let me resolve it, or let me find the person and not just transfer them to a number where the switchboard operator is just going to leave them to die somewhere. We need to own it. We need to look at collective solutions. We need to act and serve fast, because that's what our citizens are demanding of us. And if that doesn't happen, then the people of this country are not going to get what they deserve, what they trusted us to live.
Not because we are consciously being malicious, but because I think this is the direction that the organization is going, and someone else or my colleague thinks we are going somewhere else, right? It's very important. If there's one thing we need to get right, it's our strategic clarity. And that strategic clarity is not only about this is where we are going or this is what we do. It is also about what we are not doing, where we are not going.
People expect leadership that listens, acts decisively, and delivers measurable results. These realities compel us to rethink about municipalities. How are they governed and how public services are delivered? Transformation is therefore no longer an option, it's a necessity. We need to transform at all costs. We need to transform.
We may never eliminate criticism. We may never control every headline, but you can always choose to communicate with honesty, with consistency, with professionalism, and with respect. Because at the end of the day, people don't trust governments they hear from once in a while. They trust governments that communicate openly, consistently, and truthfully. And thank you.
In terms of numbers, as I said, we had that at least 700 million rand savings across the last 2 years. Our debt growth slashed from the 31% 2 years ago when I was at OTP for the year to 16%, and now at 200 million rand savings. Our savings, as I said, we've recovered our accruals and payables. Another 200 million was slashed off, and the overall accruals went from 7.2 down to 6.8 in the last year.
Monitoring tells us what is happening, and then innovation helps us improving. How do we become a learning a government so that we can innovate better? We must embrace digital transformation, and all the leaders that came here to speak were speaking at all times about the learning organization using digital transformation and artificial intelligence, integrating information systems, ensuring data analytics, and reading, research, and more research.
We also have an airport app that also assists. So this is how we are also taking into consideration the technology and also include our service offerings. Before I close, we have those young women and men who always wake up during those ungodly hours to ensure that when you are taking your first flight, everything is running like a well-oiled
All I
machine.
can say is that by 2030, according to the WEF, more than half of your skills will mostly be irrelevant. It's time we upgrade ourselves between now and 2029. So because we are left with less than 48 months, literally, to upgrade ourselves.